One of the secrets to getting good at Jiu Jitsu is you want to learn to be extremely dexterous and coordinated with your legs. You want to learn to use your feet, your knees, your hips, and your legs the way you use your hands. I want to have such coordination, control, and dexterity with my legs that I'm able to use them independently of my arms. When you train with a good Jiu-Jitsu player, you will find that maybe I'm trying to pass and I'm getting my grips and moving around and I've got control of their upper body, and these legs just keep coming back in, putting hooks in, threading in a knee, bringing a foot up and blocking you, De La Riva hook, reverse De La Riva hook. All these little pieces that make it really hard. They're putting all these roadblocks in your way. If I'm trying to focus on the lower body, control the legs and the feet when I'm passing, well, my partner has their arms and their hands free to frame. The reality is, if you played guard perfectly, and no one does, but if you're able to play guard in such a way that when I'm on my back, I always have 4 limbs moving. I have 2 hands and 2 legs. And as a guard passer, for the most part, you can only ever use 3 because you've generally got 1 leg on the ground for balance, 2 hands and another leg. So if guard was played perfectly and all limbs independent, they've always got one more piece of the puzzle than you, so they should be able to create problems. The thing when you look at lower level jiu-jitsu is people got strong frames and they push and move, but they don't use their legs so well. They don't use their feet, their knees, their hooks. They're not able to move their hips dynamically. Like they might just do a hips escape, but they don't know the difference between, say, lateral movement with your hips, circular movement with your hips, up and down movement with your hips. Sometimes your hips escape is not just on a sideways, a lateral plane. You're sort of arcing upwards and moving. It's like you're going to invert. There are a lot of different things you can do, and I can't stress enough how learning to do exercises and movements and trying to use your feet and your legs and use them as much, if not more than your hands, will help you improve your game. Particularly if you're smaller. If you're training with someone bigger, stronger, and more athletic than you, the biggest, strongest muscle groups in your body are going to be your legs and your hips. You want to use your stronger, more powerful parts to protect yourself, to keep them away. When I'm playing guard, I want to keep them at the end of my feet if I can. If they breach that line of my feet, they're blocked by my knees and then my hands. And they have to climb that ladder to pass together. They've got to beat your feet, beat your knees, beat your hips, beat your hands, lock down your upper body. And as a guard player, we're doing the opposite. Like we're using each one. If you beat my feet, I block with my knees. You beat my knees and get to my hips, and maybe I'm blocking my hands. But when I'm blocking with one piece, I'm trying to bring back a knee, trying to move my hips in, trying to push you back out further. And techniques are taught as one coordinated movement, and that's fantastic. And it's the way techniques need to be taught. But sometimes what we don't understand is what ties the pieces all together and makes this nice, smooth, seamless jiu-jitsu is your ability to coordinate a whole body attack, to move your entire body and use it in a functional, dynamic sort of way, to create problems for my partner, to put roadblocks in the way, to stop them from being able to pass or control or pin, or as I said before, create problems like fishing for this, doing that, one hook stapling, other foot stepping up and blocking, like I'm doing, creating a lot of scenarios that they're trying to register and deal with all these problems. Again, if I'm upper body dominant, well, really, I know that I've just got to fight this. All my focus can be against that. So it's a lot easier for someone, if they're only an upper body, more of an upper body type player, well, I can use all my limbs versus your upper body. I'm going to have the upper hand. If I learn to use my feet and legs really, really coordinated and smoothly, you're going to create problems. All the best guard players in the world, and the best guard passers too, they use their feet like their hands. They're coordinated, they're dexterous, and this is a learned skill. Don't think, oh, I'm uncoordinated, or yeah, I don't move that well, or I can't do that, I'm not flexible. Dexterity and coordination are learned skills. You can learn them, you can practice them, you can be mindful and present and go, okay, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to work on movement drills by myself. I'm going to work on drills where maybe I put one hand inside my belt or I'm holding my collar. So it forces me, when I can only use one hand, I need to move my hips more, use my legs more efficiently and do more with my lower body. You can do no-handed drills. Maybe you can put a hand in the belt or hold both collars. You can try and pin and hold people with no hands or with one hand. There's all sorts of ways you can handicap yourself in training that puts a limit on what you can do. And all of a sudden, if you're a higher belt, you're a blue belt training with a white belt. When you handicap yourself in this way, that white belt doesn't feel like a white belt all of a sudden. All of a sudden, they're difficult. It's like, whoa, this is tough. I'm a black belt. I've been training 20 years. When I handicap myself against my students, man, it's tough. Like I have a lot of trouble. They create problems that I know what I need to do to defend it, but I'm able to do it because maybe I'm not able to use an arm or both arms, or I've put a limit on myself. I can use this, or this. And sometimes if they catch on, they can make life difficult. And that's cool. That's awesome. That's part of learning and progression. You learn to use your whole body better. You'll be much, much harder to pass. You'll recover your guard much easier. You'll be more effective as a guard player. You'll have more tools available to you. So again, I want you to train and be mindful of that idea of, I want to learn to use my lower body. I'm going to improve my coordination and my dexterity and control of my legs and my hips. If you do this, you'll see a significant improvement in your jiu-jitsu, and yeah, your training partners will be wondering, what is this guy doing? How is he learning so fast? And I'm pretty sure that's something we all want to have.